supposed to be right up in this area. See?
No, this is perfect. I think
Yeah.
this is absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Turn my seat half towards you.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see it however me. However you wish to be comfortable, you know?
Comfortable with,
Certified.
okay, just say, just you know, comfortable with me doing this. Yes, whatever you say. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, what's up everybody? I am here sitting with the legend and the one and only Boppin, Andre, and we've got a lot of questions for him. I am really, really honored you were able to come here and share your story with us today. There's a lot of misunderstanding and a lot of misleading information about robotics and animation out there, and that's why I invited Bob and Andre today here with us, and I wanted to ask him his story of animation, how he got into it, why is it called animation, was it called something different before. Please just tell us anything and everything you feel like it's really important to get out there. How did you get into dance? What was your first inspirations? And you know.
So
yes.
first of all, to anyone who listening at this moment, you know, I'm very old now. You know, I just want to make two statements so that you can get most of this stuff clearly. Two statements. Number one, I am using English. And English is a very confusing language. The words we use do not always represent what a person is feeling. And when you try to best describe them, the person who is taking in the words can also get them misconstrued or take them out of context. And this is the basic thing that has happened within the dance genre. You ask the question, somebody give you a name, the name has a reference because that's the best that they've gotten the name or taken it, and then you just go with that name. And then when you go on, you may have gotten the wrong context or definition for what it may have been. It's really just the wrong use of communication. That's really what I say, number one. And number two is my apologies to anybody, because I am one of the biggest persons who understands that, but will still leave some people in the dark, because I really don't honestly care if individuals know what the right word is for a movement more than they did the movement right. If I see you do a great tumbling knack and you did a 1.5 back gainer or flip and it looked beautiful, I don't care that you don't know what you did. I think that what you did was beautiful. If I see you do a pirouette and you never went to ballet and don't know what it's called, and you did it and it looked good, oh, that's just like the ballet people did the pirouette. Oh, I didn't know, but you still look good doing it. Merry Christmas. That's how I feel about things. It's not just because you don't know the name of something, don't mean you can't do it. That's my first and last apology to you, because as I go to give you these definitions, you may find people who argue with my definitions. The problem is only not that they don't always know where things came from or how they heard them or what they said they was doing. It's because they weren't there around the time it was being created and got the same inspiration. And names for actions can change. So today, like when I grow up and you talk to anybody who's considered to be old school, I'm not saying OG, and that's another word that people keep throwing around wrongly, but old school mean you were back in the day. And when you, as an example of back in the day, when people were first doing this, you know, real live movement, it was called the backslide. And later on, after Michael Jackson came along, it was called the moonwalk. That's the first basic idea of how words have changed to be recognized and communicated for the same action. This action that Michael Jackson did, that most of the people in the world after him has come to know as the moonwalk, to every old school, so that's not the moonwalk, that's the backslide. But you can't fight what the whole community has also, you just gotta, when you know the difference, you just gotta kind of be able to inherently embellish that you know the difference, and that you can tell people, hey, you know, before it was a moonwalk, it was a backslide, but that doesn't mean that the person can't do it because they don't know the name of it. So that's why I try to tell people the words is not as more important than the act itself, right? Okay. But it's good to know when you're trying to either instruct people or tell people or give them some kind of insight to fall on. What words is so they can kind of get a focus group of. That's what the focus group is, just categorizing. It's just categorizing. It's our way of putting things in a nice little bucket to say that comes over here and that don't come over there. But we live in a world where things are sometimes mesh. You know, they can. You know, we can be together. I'm playing. I'm old school. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying. Hey, okay, Merry Christmas. So that's my first one is saying that words can be misconstrued or taken out of context or misunderstood. And my second one was the apology, because I myself have told many people many things, because that to me is all they needed to know to get where they were going. Not that they needed to know a whole story. You don't really need to know that I'm Boppin Andre and that I did Sinbad back then for you to learn how to Sinbad now. You don't need to know what my inspiration was for me to tell you how to do it now. If you got it, you got it. If you're far from it, then it would be good to get a gist of it. That's it.
Okay.
Was that too long?
No.
See how long this is going to be? Every time I have a question, it's going to be a 30-minute explanation, just so there's no confusion.
Okay, see? Perfect. So tell us, Andre, in your opinion,
my opinion,
what is animation?
Woo, okay. In my opinion, animation is, you mean real animation or dancing animation? See, that's how bad that category is. But that is my opinion. But
okay, well,
what context you want to see?
Well,
the dancing world animation?
Which context do you want to explain? Because if I was explaining animation, I would explain the real animation and then go into the dance animation.
So there you go. So let me go. Part one, animation. Animation was a concept of making non-real things make live action. So a rock that doesn't usually move, not even by the wind, can be made by an animator, even though he's taking what is called stop frame motion to look like it moved across the room on its own cognizance. It doesn't happen for real. It's fantasy, it's fiction, but and they may in real life have some kind of rock that's alive at what they call coral reef that actually have real life and can expand and possibly move. I'm not here to doubt that. I'm saying animation is the idea of taking a still object or item and giving it a lifelike motion. That's what it does. And the way they did that in film and in pictures or flipbook manner was to take that live motion, redraw the next action, and put them all together, and they get a big old pile, and they flip through it, or the film goes through it, and it looks like it's walking or talking or moving and all that other stuff. And that's animation, the real content. Animation for a real person, just so we can be really clear right now, if you're moving, if you're breathing, if you close your eyes, if you snap your finger, you're animated. So human beings are actually the opposite in a sense that everything they do is animated. So, I mean, when you go to lay down, you go to pray, you go to eat, you go to drink, you're moving. That motion is animation. But when you're in now the dance contents of the world, you're trying to look or pull the blanket over the eyes as an illusion to the people who watch you, as if you were an inanimate object, again learning how to move in that flip book scenario. So let me make this quick example. When I'm talking, I'm moving my hands, I'm animated. In fact, when people, sometimes they yell and they get mad, they go, "What you talking about?" They go, "Oh, man, that dude's real animated," because he's over extreme, moving this. "Man, you can't do that, get that back over here." That's being very animated. But even if you just say, "Hey man, what's happening?" and you move, how you do, that's still animated too. But in the context of the world of dancing, you're supposed to be almost like the illusion is like a mime artist who, that's why we always say I started a robot to give you a base of something that was still, that can have emotion. A robot, until you hit a button, can't become animated. It's just stay still. It'll stay there forever. And that would be closer to the ideal. I mean, you could fool people and say, "Dude, I was a mannequin," because you didn't move. But once you start to move, you can no longer be a mannequin. Mannequins don't have a motor. Mannequins doesn't have the programming. A mannequin is just something that was molded into place. So if ever you call yourself to be a mannequin, and I'm talking very seriously to categorize this, you wouldn't make any other motion. You just stay there, frozen, like a stare contest. That would be a mannequin. But if you did decide in the dance world to start off at mannequin or end somewhere in, like a mannequin could be a pause of what you did as a motion. So you could start off like boom, boom, and click, 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 and then go back into some kind of mannequin-like pose, or you can call it robot or whatever you want to between those. You can combine those motions, and now you're putting in robot, mechanical motions, and other things to become the animated character you wish to purvey. Was that too much? The animated character you wish to let people think you're trying to be. Right?
Okay.
So animation, inanimate object, still book this tree, then some kind of way, some clay person goes like, and the tree looks like it just went across us, right? That's animation in real life.
Okay.
Animated for us is supposed to be just
Okay.
being still and trying to make the illusion that you're in motion.
So is it safe to say that animation came from the movie world, not from the dance world?
No, that's not safe to say.
It's not safe to say.
No.
Okay. Why is it not safe to
Gotcha,
say?
didn't I? Got you good. Gotcha.
But that's why I'm asking. I need to
No, but there's a lot of people think that
you know?
too because they heard the story, right?
Okay,
So, do you happen to know this word that they call vibration? You know what a vibrator is?
Yes.
Can you play vibration?
I'm too insecure to do
No, just shake. Why? Anybody out there, anybody listening to me, just shake. If you just do this, just do that.
Okay.
Just shake. Okay, good. That's animated. That didn't have to come from a movie. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
Okay.
the difference between the ideal that you're being animated is in motion. And so I can't even tell you if the robot, which is being a machine that can move, which I would still say is doing some forms of animation, or the base form of animation because it's moving. It's probably a robot that starts to move. I couldn't even say that came just from a movie, though there are many movies on robot, cartoons on robot that have been out. But I can't say that those movies, because they were cartoons, started the robot in the street. You understand what I mean? I can't say that because they were out there prior in film or on movies, or that if somebody took a picture of a robot they made, that started people in the street. The ideal of a concept of a robot is to be, in most people's mind, a machine being made to do what a person could do. You know, like to replace a human. But there are different types of robots. So you get right now we even got the Roomba. You know that little thing that vacuum cleans your floor?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a human, it's a robot.
Yeah.
But if I said to you, what do you think your television is? What do you think your microwave is? What do you think your toaster are? They're all robots. And they're all in some form, because they have a function, they have a form as they get more IA, more programming, they can do multi-function things. Your robot don't got an arm. I mean, your computer don't have arms and legs and whatever, but it has a brain and a chip, and if you put the right paraphernalia in it and devices, it can do other things. It prints. Not the computer, but it's the brain to allow another device that's a printer to print. And that is, in itself, robotic programming. You know, that programming can make it do. A refrigerator is a robot. It doesn't move, don't do nothing except for open and close, but it got a thermostat to keep your food in, whatever. So people don't think in these kind of boxes of what something is associated to. Many times you think of your cell phone. The cell phone is just an advanced, it's not just a TV, it's an advanced computer. And most now, TVs are now becoming smart. They're becoming computers in themselves. Even though they get the visuals, the channels, the add-in, you can do the internet. So you got to think of how these things are growing out from the base. Robot is simply supposed to be a device, an item with minimal programming for movement to do a specific task. So that if I wanted to play like I was a real robot and I was just making ice creams, I would just have a scoop, ice cream drop, up, and pass. And I would keep doing that like an assembly line. I wouldn't have anything else to do until they cut the switch off and cut the switch on. But I can have a robotic malfunction. Everything electrical needs power, and things that have power react unwarrantedly when there's either too much electricity or not enough electricity. So you can take a robot that ain't supposed to do something, the lights come on, you do it, and then it gets too low, the lights start flickering. You know, you go, oh, why is it doing that? and then it was supposed to do this ice cream thing, but instead it throws the cone away. The timings are messed up. And those are the things that when you're performing, you get to rely on once you understand the concept of it. You get to shake a hand with one person, shake a hand with another person, and see a girl and go, and hug. Because you blew a fuse. Too low, too high. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. So, is it safe to say that the techniques for robot and animation are the same?
The basic technique to me of robot and animation are the same, but only because you're again in an animate object by preference and starting to make some kind of motion. And the only difference that people are doing these days is they don't know, they haven't taken it from that ideal that I'm supposed to make motions. I'm supposed to have so much programming to do things. And so they do everything. So they'll make a robot go underwater. If it wasn't waterproof, it ain't supposed to go underwater. This is the way you got cameras and watches. You know, there's only certain watches that go underwater. They all tick. But it's the difference between a digital and a device one. And it's the difference between water pressure. So it's different between the band types. That can change. But the reason that there are so many different ideals is because there is no one structure. And let me be honest, I'm very glad there's no one structure. I'm very glad there's no one definition, because that gives variety to what you see. You understand?
Yeah.
It gives some chaos, and which can bring some excitement to the routine. But it would still be good that when you are doing these, you should know the difference in a sense.
So what is the difference between robot and animation?
Okay, so you said you're going to ask me a lot of these other things. I told you they're all based the same. Robot, here's the basics so you can learn any robot and take it by the basics. All robot, starting from a still basis, moving 4 and 8 counts only. If you want to add more counts, and by 4 and 8 counts, I mean timing. Look, if I started here and I get ready to move my hand to go wherever it's going to go, I'm only going 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the basics of all robot.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how boring that is? But sometimes you get to go 8 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 and 8 count moves. Nothing in between, just 4 and 8. That's the basis of all robots.
Okay.
But what you do when you're doing those is a whole different thing.
Okay.
So if I went to go 1, 2, even my breathing, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, I'm moving a hand as I'm moving one hand quickly, but it's the start of a base of me moving the next motion to go 4 or 8, right? So also, it looks pretty when you start to do quick motion, dime stops in the robot, but they don't necessarily originally belong there. So honestly, if you just stood there and just did this all day, you know. And I'm doing 4 counts, I just happen to stick it. My hand can't go, my hand's just going, but it's still trying to go up in the 4-8 count. I can't stop it because it has to reach 4 or 8. It's either or. I can make a rhythm, but it has to go complete repetition 4-8. That's robot basic.
Okay.
No matter how you did it, walk. It's very simple for robot basics. Okay, now, the difference between that and any other incremental move you make pulls you into what is called a Sinbad or an animation or a 3D or a strobe effect. All of those things are the same, and they're based on timing. And the timing they are happen to be on 16 and 32. So remember when I was going 1, 2, 3, 4 from A to B, I got to go 1 to A to B, but I have to do it in what is, sometimes they used to call it ticking, but ticking is only when you go slow, so that's why I'm going to bring the difference. So when I go into animation in Sinbad, I'm into this. I went from A to B, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can go 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? 4 or 8, don't matter. But if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, it's the same 4 rhythm, but in 4 steps, like I try to do this. I'm now into ticking. If I speed ticking up any rhythm before 1, 2, 3, 4, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I am now in the quick tick or to slow 3D, which is also slow animation. If I try to go even faster, which is the same as me doing vibrate and then moving my hand, or just going one direction. The difference between me going, okay, the difference between me doing this, watch, see, you're very tight, watch this, watch this, watch. What's the difference between this? I'll say, go 1, 2, 3, 4, do that. Now do that very tight, like as if you're vibrating the hand to do it. Go. You see these muscles right here, how tight they are? You still, the effect is there. The effect is there. And watch this, just go up and down, but only one direction. Look, I have no tightness. I'm doing the 1, 2, I'm doing the stop and go. I'm not even vibrating. I'm not going, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look, my hands go, so my hands are going in one direction only. Like a tick, that motion. Turn. That motion. Turn. Look, tick, 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 tick. Right. So you don't got to be tight to do that.
Yeah, that's what I specialize in. I'm
I
sorry,
know.
guys.
No, but it's good. But so you don't have to be tight to do that. But once you do the muscle isolation to turn, but now so you specialize. So now turn your fingers, bring your finger in like this. See, your finger didn't go click, 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 click. Ha! She specializes. That's what I'm talking. That's what I'm talking about. She specializes. see, if you. I'm just saying, you did real good. Because I love you, baby. I love you, yeah, look. So the difference.
He just made a funeral for me over here.
I'm saying, if you have a tick and it's only to go in or out, you are doing in and out with any motion you use. And it's not because of tightening. It's got nothing to do with tightening.
I always tighten my muscles.
I believe you do.
But
see,
I don't know how to do this.
Yes, you do. But look, I'm telling you, the difference is you tighten your muscle because you give yourself a state of frame that you are robotically still, and it's got to be moving that way. But that's not what you have to do. That's what I'm saying. See, if I do this and say my hands opening, I just got to take step, 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 right? Your hands ain't tight, and you're still doing it. Now do it quicker, just a little quicker. You just did it. Who said you can't do it? She specializes now. She specializes. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So the real deal is once you start going quicker motion, anytime you're doing this quicker motion, you're in what was once called strobe in 3D. Strobe in 3D. And the word Sinbad are all synonyms. They're the same, a different name given for the same act all the time. So somebody go, oh man, you see him 3D? He might come and go, and he go, oh, you see his 3D? You see his animation? And animation also was first coined to give the look of this Sinbad 3D strobe. It wasn't given because you were roboting animation. It wasn't given because you was popping and had a hit. It wasn't given because you did a wave. It wasn't like, oh, animated waves or whatever. It's not that. It was just once you started getting that vibrate look, and that didn't mean you had to vibrate, but if you can vibrate and get the same effect, Merry Christmas to you. Do not be hindered by me or anybody else who laughs because you tense up, and don't laugh because you can't do vibrate the way everybody else is doing. That's not what is happening. With the idea of ticking, vibration, strobing, it's the fact that you're moving, and again, you can stop yourself at any given time. You get to move. I could talk to you and say, hey man, I was going up to the thing that time. Then it's almost like a person who's got geriatric. Okay, so I'm an old person. You see an old person sometimes when they move, their hand be going, hey, did you do that? They can, okay, but if you just take that away and say, look, you're doing the same thing. And it don't mean that you have to be tight. It just means, and the reason why you want to sometimes be tight is you want to let a person know I can do a lot. I can turn my hands, I can pull my hair back, I can still keep it in vibration mode, but I can also stop and control the dime stop part. That's the only thing you're doing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
I mean, it makes sense, but it's room for improvement on my side.
There's room for improvement on everybody's side. Yep. If I looked as beautiful as you, I wouldn't have to do it so good. I could just go, oh, I look so good.
See, this is what I don't want to do, okay? I don't
You can't say nothing, you look good. You can't help that. Hey, Merry Christmas. That's animated.
Okay, so
So did you get the idea that I'm telling you that the word strobe and 3D have the same source? They meant the same thing at one time, but just different people saying what it was.
So where did this 3D definition came from?
3D,
Yeah.
3D first. 3D, the name first was not a person who was a dancer saying I'm doing 3D.
Yeah.
It was the people looking at the person vibrating and moving who said, "Man, that looks like it's like a strobe light. Oh man, it looked like." And when you came at me, it looked like 3D. See, so when a person first vibrates, you don't see nothing coming at you backwards, forward, or whatever. You just see them doing shakes.
Mm-hmm.
But originally, there were not many people who were moving as they vibrated. So once you got emotional vibration,
Okay.
now you got this strobe effect. Like your eye go, oh, it's clicking. I see
Okay.
their hands shaking. You know, they see this, but now they see this.
Okay.
And so they get this different illusion.
Okay.
And when they saw that, they say, oh, you're strobing.
So strobing in 3D is pretty much the same.
They are exactly the same, except
Exactly.
for.
Oh.
No. Here's the exception.
There's an exception.
There is an exception. When you are doing strobing and you're coming back and forward from a person, it gives the idea that something came out. That's the idea of what 3D is. So strobing is the back and forth motion toward the person's eye, and whereas strobing is the passing the eye. Watch what I'm saying. You looking at the camera looking at me. If I strobe this way, it'll look like I'm just going across you, so it's a quick tick. A strobe is a quick tick. Remember I told you that just instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no. Okay, but if I went here and came forward or moved up, you go, oh, he's strobing, but it looked like he came out. So
it's
3D
the
is
concept of the 3D. On
right.
top of the strobing.
It's the same strobing, but it's coming toward a person, by a person.
Okay.
You know,
So what is the difference between strobing and ticking?
just the timing.
I always thought that
Just
ticking.
the timing.
Let me tell you something. I
Okay.
always thought that ticking is with a pop, and strobing is with muscle tension.
It don't matter. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you pop or hit with a tick. It doesn't matter whether you dime stop with a tick. Ticking is the whole idea. Okay, there are many type of clocks, and if you get a digital clock, sometimes you don't even hear the tick sound. You know, the numbers just change. But sometimes you can get a flip clock, and it'll go 1 second. You know, hit the paper scroll.
Okay.
That's the ticking too of a clock.
Okay.
Tick tock, tick tock. And then you get the hand to go tick tock, tick. The 1 second
Okay.
hand. Tick tock. So that hand second can go dime stop, and sometimes it can have a gear that moves it back and forth, which is the ticking of it coming off a gear. Gear is making it go. Right?
Oh, okay.
So ticking is not whether there's a shake or a hit. It's the idea of going 1, 2, 3, 4. So whether I do this,
Okay.
or whether I do this, boom, 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 there is no difference.
So it's a concept.
It's always a
Okay.
concept.
It's always a concept. Okay.
So why would I say to you, okay, why would I say to you that this is, please, you guys, please bear with me. Why would I say to you that this is an arm wave, and then go, but this is a tick arm wave, which it is stopping and going. And then I go, this though is a different arm wave. Why would I, if I'm doing an arm wave and I'm still stopping and going, just because it's a hit or no hit, why would I not tell you they're all waves? The concept is that you're actually stopping one or you tremble one if you want to make it look like it's half animated or Sinbad. It's just it's a variation on your timing. Variation means how quick or how slow you go. That's all it is.
Okay.
Make sense? I hope y'all count that. That's very important.
Okay, yeah. Important. So it's a concept. Ticking is a concept.
Ticking is not just a concept because I don't want you getting stuck in that. Let me get you stuck to this for ticking. Ticking is the basic building blocks for every movement you ever make. Let me get that in your brain. Don't think of ticking as a concept, but every move you've ever made that anybody ever tried to teach you, including boxing for that matter, including how to walk, it's all one step, first step, second step, then. So if I taught you how to do cha-cha, if I taught you how to use nunchucks, it'd be first grab it, then go over behind your back and catch it. That's step 1. Then you try to go over and catch it 2. That's step 2. That's a form of ticking. 1, 2. It's a stopping to get from one motion to the next motion. If it was boxing, they did, okay, first jab, 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 then cross or duck or block and then hit. So it's still ticking. It's the choreography for any process of motion. That's what ticking is. When you see people try to learn how to do break dancing and they hit the floor and they say this is the 6th step. It's the first step is 1, 2, 3, 4. They tell you how to go all the way around and it's the same thing. Ticking is the basic building blocks for movement, period. I don't care what the dance motion is. I don't care if it's locking. It's the 1, 2, 3, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then somebody go, then go 6, 7, 8. Okay, great, but that's ticking was to take those step times. And when you get good at it, it may not even be the beat no more. You might go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You get different rhythms later on. Speed them up, slow them down, stop them.
Okay.
Was that hard? So I don't want you to say ticking is just a concept and think it there. Think that
it's a timing and a concept.
It's always a timing, but not so much as concept. It's the building block for something. Like if I really wanted to try to teach you how to do an arm wave, the basic way people would teach people how to do an arm wave is this. Go 1, go 2, go elbow up, go 3, go cross, go 4 elbow up, go hand down. That's a ticking wave. But they don't want you at that ticking wave as like that's the only way to do the wave. They want you to be able to just do a very smooth wave. But to get smooth, even if they did this, they go first do this, go do that, and now go do that. Go do this. That's still ticking. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They go, do away, do it nice, do it nice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if it's ugly, they still try to break you into steps to get the motion. And ticking is the steps.
Okay.
So if I want to do Sinbad, like the ideal of an animated, hey, here I am. So if I do this, I go, first go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and just do them in recession but doing fast. So I'm ticking the same idea that I would do this, but I'm going quicker. Boom, boom. Now it's like either vibrating tense or just ticking up, dime stopping up. So, and I'm not going, I'm not trying to hit on 4 counts, 6 count, whatever. I'm just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So if I go tick, 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 easy. If I go tick, 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 it's easy, but it's quicker repetition. And that's all it is. It's the steps of a timing.
Okay, let's
move on.
Let's do some definition, explanation stuff, okay?
Okay, definition and explanation.
Dime stop.
Same as ticking. Dime stop is meaning coming to a stop.
Okay, stop motion.
Same thing, come to a stop. What's supposed to be the difference? Okay, wait a minute. I have to laugh at this because, again, those are 2 names meaning the same thing no matter how you hear them. Okay, I don't know if somebody's going to tell you, okay, if you do dime stop, that means you're supposed to, okay, let me say something to you as a juncture because my brain just went back in time to think about when I first heard the word dime stop. So it used to be a saying among at least black people, I don't know if it's every street where to go, that there's an idea that you can stop on a dime. To stop on a dime means that you come to a complete stop. You got a car moving fast, you go, and it don't take long to stop. That's where the real word came from, a dime stop. So if you can stop on a dime, it means you was moving quick, but you just froze. You know, you went, and it came to a stop. But dime stop and stop motion is exactly the same.
Could you say that stop motion is a sequel of dime stops?
I would say they're the same thing. You just said a different name. But what's good about stop motion is that that's a term that was mostly implied in the true animation that we first talked about earlier when they were making photos or they was making frames. When they put them together, it's a frame stop is also a stop motion. So yeah, they move the character here, they move the character here, they move the character here, they take a picture of all those and they flip book it. So that's where frame stop and stop motion comes together. It used to be stop motion photography.
Okay.
It's called stop motion photography, not stop motion filming.
Okay.
Right? But they really are the same.
Okay. Claymation.
Okay, we in the same thing. Claymation was, so when they used to do these inanimate objects, there was a time when they would use plastics, they used real objects, and they eventually started having these artists who could make clay, figurines. And so that became easier to move without it breaking or making a harder part. And so claymation was born. People started making films with clay, and that became claymation, of which most of the people who are now in Dinorama or Sinbad. They see the creatures made out of clay. It gave them a more it wasn't a hardcore robotic move. It was just, I can move it. And they can make the arm on something look like it's waving sometimes. But really, honestly, claymation and animation are all the same. It's still stop motion, frame forward, and a group of films put together to make a motion.
Sinbad.
Same thing. Sinbad just happened to be a name of the films that they were making when they were doing claymation. So when you watch a film, either you watch the technique they did the film in, like for instance, if you was a techie, you'd be worried about how did they make the dinosaur move, and they go, we use claymation. That's the term of us people who are making the film. But if you watch the film and you didn't know nothing about that, you go, oh man, I watched that movie Sinbad. And the best way to tell people, man, where'd you get that move from? It looked like this. Yeah, it was out that movie Sinbad. So Sinbad, claymation, strobing, 3D, they're all the same. See how easy that was?
Bopping.
Oh, now you heard me. Okay.
Oh my God.
Okay, ready?
Bopping.
Here
Nobody
you go.
can explain it to me. Let's
No,
go.
this is easy.
Let's go.
So first of all, I want to make a true difference to you between all of these things we're talking about and bopping. So first of all, bopping is, again, when I told you in the beginning that names change everything. So my first name when I was dancing, because I really can't dance, please, that's just a misnomer, was that I was a robot. So my name on the street without having a name was Robot Dre. And to shorten robot up, because we got a lot of people who wanted robot back in that day, before there was locking, there was robot. And so we had Robot this, and Robot Brothers, and Robot this, and Robot John, and Robot this. So robot was a coin name for a person who wanted the robot. And the short name in the streets became Boppin. They just took the row out because it was easier to say Boppin. Botting. So now I'm Boppin Dre. I'm still Robot Dre, but short people go, hey, what's up, Boppin Dre? Just like my name is Andre, but some people call me Andre. Some people call me Dre. And then I got some people just say, what's up, D? It's all still me. It's just the shortening of a word. And the difference was as popping came along, some short years after I was getting into the field, locking had kind of come and hit a lot of people. They wanted to start locking groups. In fact, when I first seen the Electric Boogaloo, they were called the Electric Boogaloo Lockers. I know this is not history to you guys. I'm just trying to explain to you that the first groups for dancing in the streets were usually using the terms of the latest dance that was out. And at that point, when the Electric Boogaloo poppers that you know are out, they were first called Electric Boogaloo Lockers. See, to get your history right. So while they was doing that, they had a little bit of everybody in their field. In fact, 2 or more people that even got on Soul Train didn't call popping, they called it creeping. So now I'm going to go back to the story of what is bopping. When popping came out, people used to look and point to people to see who was battling or who was dancing. And they go, what are they doing over there? What was that he was doing? And the people who would answer, at one point they'd say, hey, they roboting. Then they said, they roboting and locking. Then it came with locking, came along, they robot and locking. Then popping came along. Now they locking and popping. And as popping took over the field, it changed to, hey, they popping and locking. And that, instead of becoming the lock pop, it became the pop lock, which is why you have so many old school people say, man, there wasn't no such thing as pop locking. But the truth was, there was locking and popping, and the lockers eventually tried to pop and either stayed with it, or new poppers came in at the new time and they didn't try to do a whole lot of locking. They always every dancer respected whatever came prior to give them the pass. Like, dude, you was a locker, very good, but I'm a pop locker. And then they would just take on their own thing. Just like in crumping world. Crumpers, they out there for their own. Like, this is what we do. Yeah, we see poppers and we think they good poppers, but we crumpers. Yeah, we see lockers and we're about it, they lock it. That's not what we do. But we crumpers. And so now you'll say what field you in socially at that given time. So popping became the new thing. And while it was just trying to get known, people who pointed over in the corner, seeing people who would dance, would say, hey man, they're over there popping and locking. Or they're locking and popping, whichever way, vice versa. Try to remember what I'm saying. It went both ways until a certain time. So when I got into it, I was always robot. And so my name was Boppin. It wasn't Boppin first, it was Boppin Dre. And somebody said, what's your name, dude? You know, you good, man, you good. I said, Boppin Dre, but I'm talking over a very crowded, man, you turned that dude out. What's your name? Oh, I'm Boppin Dre. Poppin' Dre? go, no, with a B, put a B instead of P, bop. And they go, oh, Boppin' Dre. So that was, and then I just didn't have the time to sit there and tell them I'm Boppin' Dre. So they went popping, bopping Dre. So the name had nothing to do with what I was doing. In fact, at that time, I was just a roboter trying to be a beginner popper, which was like Compton pop locker. I didn't pop the way my style is or that had it generated into. So it was just my name. Now, as the good part about it, as my name was coming out, there were three real important things that came out at the same time. So Parliament, Funkadelic, came out with this whole thing about, we're going to do these concerts and we got these certain O's and, they got the Bop gun. And it was just fortunate that I was coming up on the scene. They changed my name to Bop, and the songs that was really coming out was Aqua, Flashlight, Aqua Mama Demi, and then a couple songs that was really deep was Where'd You Get That Bop From? It's like a divorce. So where you get your bop from? And I get to use the song as both my door knocker and to shut it down when I go into a group. They go, I'm popping. I go, yeah. Well, I was popping too, but I was robotically popping, but that was after the fact, so we'll get to that point. But when I came up there, dude, I was now bopping Dre. And when the people would say, hey, that's where he get his bop from? I go, that's right, the song, Where You Get Your Bop From. I'm part of that, that movement. And that movement started like in LA at least. I don't know what it did on the East Coast, but in LA, all the DJs and all the groups that wanted to be party givers were all super Parliament, George Clinton funked out. I mean, they was dressing like Ready for the World and Prince, but they were on the music, they were still doing Parliament. So we had Rude Boys and Uncle Jam's Army. All the dudes from the Uncle Jam's Army was dressed like Time in the Revolution, but they was playing Parliament Funkadelic. So Bop Gun became very unfortunate among the street because I now had the name of the true bopper. I was like Bopper, and I was bopping. I'm Boppin' Dre. I'm the creator of the name, which I wouldn't even want. Whoever was in the street called me Boppin' by mistake, created my name for me, renamed me. But when I started using it, it was easier to go and say, yeah, because I'm a bopper, I'm a roboter, and a popper. I'm a popping robot. And that made the difference with my first definition to people. I'm a popping robot. That was our first to tell people, oh, I'm popping, but I'm a popping robot. But then later they start saying, you're not popping like us. I used to pop like y'all. I think I'm better. So I just say I'm a dancing robot. Mm-hmm. But even that though, a dancing robot even throws a curve, because then you go back to find that Michael Jackson and James Brown and all them dudes call themselves doing a dancing robot. And for the fact, I hadn't seen Michael Jackson's robot from Dance Machine, but when I saw it, it was clean. It looks beautiful. I mean, I like Michael Jackson's dancing machine robot. I never did it, so I don't do those moves even when I dance to this day. And he wasn't my inspiration for it. But still, just giving you the real truth. So now let's get to the cornerstone. Cornerstone of bopping. Later on, as I became intrigued enough to beat people who were saying they can beat me doing this thing called popping, which sometimes they could and sometimes they couldn't, I wanted to prove that they couldn't by taking away everything I thought didn't look good. So many times at that time when popping was out, you could do anything as long as you hit on the beat. You can hit and stick your leg out. You can do anything as long as you had some kind of, very important. Can I stop?
Of course.
Very important.
Yeah.
I want you guys to all know this is very, very important. This is very, very important. So even when some of the people who came in the LA area, and please let the Bay people speak for themselves because they have their strutting, they have different names, they got great history. When it came to LA, people wasn't so into group dancing. I've always been a herald in comments that I thought the Bay's group routines, even to this day, I think that they're the most inspired, more influential, the most, incredible choreography you can use, even today. So when you want to talk about the Jabberwockies, that's still the Bay-inspired moves, okay? I don't care if they add in some stripper moves from here and some whatever. The way they move, the way you see those American dance groups, that's still Bay Area influence for those group routines. all of it, whether it be synchronized. Now you can still say it was like synchronized this and military this, but the way the Bay took it to the street and added the music, that is to me the highest sort of form. And they did it so cold that it wasn't even complicated. It was simple follow up and catch on, but the concepts and the routines look beautiful. So go back and do a little history and have them pull up some of those and you'll know the difference. Okay, so second part, when popping came to LA, it wasn't popping that you know of today. It didn't have very tight muscle control contraction. You guys don't happen to know, but that's a new incremental add-on to popping, even that's the way the Boogaloos do it, all right? So let me show you how the original LA poppers first started popping. I have to actually demonstrate this so there'll be no mistake ever when you see all the people say, I was popping and I wasn't doing that. Let me show you the difference between it, ready? Number one, let me stand up, please forgive me. I don't know if you can see all of me. No, that's all right.
You're gonna fix it?
No, stop, please, don't stop.
Are you sure?
Because all you gotta do is look at this.
Okay.
All you gotta do is look at my knees. See, look, you don't gotta see all this up at the top of me. Don't worry about it, watch. So when popping first started, this was popping. See how simple I'm doing this? That was it. Whatever the beat was going, you hit this was your groove and your move. It was what made the beat. So you'll see people doing, It wasn't hard. It wasn't a hard motion. You learn the moves, but you start doing this, and then people started using their hands, and there'll be a kick, and then there'll be a jump, and a jump, and a jump. This was popping. That's how easy anybody could do it. So when you see some old people do it, they look like this. They go, and they be like, It's not, There was no hard hitting with popping.
Okay.
You hear that word?
There was no hard hitting with popping.
Popping was called popping shortly after. And I'm going to tell you who heard that. There was a guy named Popping Pete. He was called Popping Pistol Pete when I first heard his name. Pistol Pete from the Electric Boogaloo Lockers. Out of all the people standing in line, he's the only one who bounced his leg. Listen to what I'm saying to y'all. They was all standing in line and they'd go, turn, go up, go down. And he's waiting for his turn like the third or fourth person down doing this.
Okay.
And if he didn't do that, I was told he would be off time. Because he was moving too quick and didn't know when to go. So he needed this rhythm to keep him on time. Okay, I was one of the persons that had to meet them there, and I noticed that he had a little, it wasn't a snap, it wasn't hard, it was just a rhythm for hitting. So I'm going to give you guys two secrets. Secret number one, in my opinion, Poppin' Pete started popping because nobody else in his group was doing that bounce hit. And no, I didn't see nobody else doing a bounce hit. So I went home and started doing a bounce hit to get my rhythm to try to learn how to pop. All right? Number two is I'm the herald who try to tell people that I'm bouncing with my leg as a hit and call it popping because I was copying Poppin' Pete. There wasn't a whole lot of people calling it popping at that time. So where I was at in LA, in South LA, Fremont area, Jefferson, Locke, South Central, where a lot of people came into it from LA because again, the history from when the Electric Boogaloo's out, they were out prior to coming up to LA. They were like in the Long Beach area, but they hit Linwood and Paramount. They hit a lot of places before they ever got there. So to me, there was also a lot of other dancers who danced before me. They were inspired, seen it, or whatever, and they were probably of different styles, who cares? You had people who call themselves creepers, people call themselves creeping. They were considered poppers too, but they like to do a lot of floats and glides. So we said, we creeping, because everything they had to do had to try to move across the floor. And so they call themselves creeping. But I'm still trying to tell you that to me, the original popper from LA is Poppin' Pete. And I'm one of the second heralds for that because I went around trying to copy him to beat him. The only thing that happened is when most people had moved, doing the popping, I didn't like popping because it was more or less, they should have been calling it puppet. And there are a lot of people who call it puppet. They call it the electric puppet or the mechanical puppet. And there are a lot of people who move, bouncy. They had these things that they was naming. If you were closer inside doing it, you was a puppet. But if you went out far, it was called a scarecrow. But really all the moves to me were the same except you extended your arm and you brought them in. Even when they tried to fall down to their knee and pill us up by the head, it was the same moves. Just one was extended, straight leg, scarecrow, and if you was in. And I didn't tend to like it because it was too loose. I didn't like the too looseness. So man, that's sorry. That's like a sorry robot. It's a sloppy robot. I couldn't understand the difference because it didn't look good. So part of my demeanor was to take what I knew, which was roboting, and see if I couldn't change the difference. And one of my mistakes ended up helping me create a different sort of style. The mistake I made was moving the robot fast. And I went from doing the robot slow to, when you say robot 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, to moving it quicker so that you can call yourself dancing to the music. I made a mistake, and this is my mistake real life. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 3. I want to be able to go to every beat. The beat going poof. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they say, why you always go 1 and stop? I said, because that's for me to start the beat to keep it. But then I keep going, but I got to be a robot. That was my law. I said, well, okay. Well, I'm going to go faster now. 1, 2, 3, 4. They go, oh, when you came back, there was a shake. And when you went over there was a shake. I said, what? I said, 1, 2, 3, 4. They go, oh, there's a shake. You see what you're doing? When I robot and I dime stop, there was no shake. It was just me stopping. The dime stop is shielding, but it's moving. And I can go 1, 2, 3, 4. But when I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, they go, oh man, there's a snap you're doing. And I go, what? They go, man, sometimes when you come back, your jaw be shaking. I go, what? I said, wait, your chest got a little hit. They didn't say I was going boom, boom. They just said when I stopped, there was a slight tremor, a slight shake. And I was like, what? And I could not see this. I never can. I have never saw myself hit. Oh, you guys got to understand this. I also don't practice like y'all to see myself hit. What I saw was the people who were looking at me telling me that there was something different between my robot at that time moving fast from the robots who were around me whom I was learning from. I learned from a girl named Noonie Marshall, a guy who I thought was the best robot I've ever seen in my life named Dexter. I don't know his last name. And anybody who knows me, like a dude named Triplett, they'll know that I'll tell you right in the middle that their robot is the best robot I've ever seen in my whole life. If I ever even tried a robot, I try to go back to imitate in my mind, how did that person Dexter robot? But the idea of me going quicker, I now sort of switched out of his category of robot. I was now a quick robot, like a fast robot, which is not too much different from the way dancing, no, he was going 1, 2, 3, like that half. So I was almost moving in that, and there was a slight shake or pop. And so then I just try to concentrate. If I can do my hand like this, boom, bam, boom, and I can see my hand go boom, bam, boom, bam. I say, ooh, look at that, boom, bam. I'm not making it stiff. I'm just coming to and letting it shake. I said, well, I should be able to do that if I go here. Yeah, I should be able to do that here. So all I did was just, if I couldn't get it to shake naturally, this is a natural, unwarranted shake, but these are making shakes. So if I go point in a way that I can't get the shake by natural snappiness, my hand goes snap, I don't gotta shake that. But if I go halfway, I gotta sort of, I can't, if I'm on tense, I would tense, but I don't like tensing. So I just go boom, and here I just go.
Okay.
So I just started making the shake. But I made the shake go with my head more, my chest more, my hands, any motion could be, I'm gonna shake whenever I want to. So now I became the dude who tremor at every hit that was concerned to be where poppers would usually hit. I wasn't at that time doing this. I wasn't vibrate, shaking, hitting. I was just going boom, I can go down. And I could do this without my leg moving or my arms moving. And just so you guys know, that somewhere in Carson, Linwood, Paramount, these were the first people who started also becoming called one-arm bandit poppers. Because they didn't pop with their leg, they started popping with their shoulders dropping. This is a drop pop, so they go boom, boom. And they turn on you sideways. Oh, these guys were also being famously known as tickers because they would hit with the movement like this. And this is almost what I would call almost an ideal of what a cyborg was coming from. They didn't do 2 arms.
Okay, just one.
Just one arm.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you why they did one arm.
Wow.
So when they hit with one arm, they get to move. Right? And then when they turn to the side, they can move this arm as fast as they want to. And they would go like, and if you see this, you see the ticking stroke motion, even though they wasn't doing this. It was just this arm doing all the work.
Okay.
and they go boom, then go into touch. It just
It's like an
just
illusion.
yeah, it was an illusion. Just made the shape for them without them having to kill themselves. So there's a guy, you may not hear these names again, please. You can ask other people about him. So there's a guy called Tickin' Larry. He had a crooked eye. He was really good. Carson, Delamo area. There's a guy called Tickin' Dave and another guy called T-Tiger. So those names are very famous for this world of one-armed bandit poppers who are also good poppers. Like they would turn a lot of people out. So just put those names in the wheel and ask around and see what they come up with when people say who they don't talk about no more. So they don't talk about a guy who originally was doing a trimmer hit. After I had started doing trimmer, I seen another guy start to do it. He was doing it slower, so I know he was at the tick motion of it. But he was still older than me and could pop really good. His name was Scully. From Scully, I took the ideal. I saw Scully go against some people and was challenging them. So when I saw him challenging people with what he was doing, he's the one who made me brave enough to decide I'll challenge anybody. I didn't care where it was from. He gave me the inspiration to just, I don't care what you're doing. I'm going to do me no matter what you're doing, and we'll let the people decide. And that was the end of that.
Okay.
So again, names are confusing. Bopping in itself, until I started to robot with a quicker tempo and happen into this shape motion, later on I concentrated on getting that shape wherever I wanted to get it. Not because I was tense, not because I was doing robot. I wasn't doing that. I could move slowly. I could do a wave and hit wherever I want to and bring it back out. I could do Sinbad and any one motion, stop, do what I call a glitch and whatever, and then go back and get hits when I needed to. That became the style known for Boppin' Andre now. So now my style, because I was bopping and popping, I was roboting with a pop, speeding up sometimes where robots didn't. That became what was known as bopping. And later, because I was telling you about the idea of the vibration that couldn't move, I had this guy who came up with the Electric Boogaloo Lockers to Fremont. His name was Robot Dane. He was in the Electric Boogaloo Lockers, and he didn't beat me robot. Now I think I had a better robot than he did. Now, I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying I got it. But he had a move, which was the vibrate, which was to take the screw to a light bulb off the sky, finger in your hand and stick it in there. And that move is still in my brain as a concept that he actually used. That move to me turned me out, not me as the roboter, but that he was creative. And I did not know how to vibrate like that. And the fact is I was embarrassed because I was supposed to know how to vibrate and I didn't. And he showed me what a real vibrate looked like. And so my idea to get back at vibration was to beat him. To beat this guy vibrate, or anybody else for that matter. And so I went around trying to learn how to vibrate. I got really good at it, but really in a weird way. So my vibrate became so eternal that you couldn't see it. So if I vibrated like I'm doing now, somebody go up to me and say, oh man, you just barely shaking. But if I'm sorry, please excuse me. If I do this, it's a vibrate. But I can't walk to a person and say I'm beating them and touch them and say, look, man, I beat you vibrating. They can go, I go, look, dude, you tripping. Watch this. And they go, oh, they won't. I can't just touch them. It would probably be a fight. So I didn't know how to vibrate like that. But what happened is, while I was trying to vibrate and got good at it, when I wanted to prove that I was better at vibrating, I used to wait till a girl come around and the guy would say he popping. I go, dude, I'm gonna show you I can beat you vibrating. Here, put your hand on your girl's shoulder, and right, he do whatever he do, he'd shake, and you can be big, and I go to the other side and go, and she go, ooh, and she go, oh, I said, see, your girl will let you know who did it. Ask your girl who vibrate better, and then they go, oh, ooh, wow. Okay, so I saw that movie again that I had seen 100 times. So everybody who's ever said they looked at the Ray Housen, the Sinbad movies, that was stop motion, clay motion, and they seen them when they was a kid, there is no denying. There was no denying that. I can't refute it even if I tried. I had seen it 1,000 times too. I had never thought to, and I had also copied those moves, but I never thought to copy those moves and use them in the dance world, under the dance context. So if I see Giant Robot, yeah, I was doing this, but I never went out to somebody and battled them and said, I'm gonna do Giant Robot on you.
Okay.
I seen Speed Racer do so. I never thought, let me do Speed Racer in a battle against somebody. That's not what my content was. I've seen it 1,000 times. I've seen those movies. In fact, let me say something truth about those movies. Those movies came out once every 10 years. So whoever say they seen them all the time, that's a lie. The Wizard of Oz, and Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, all those old time movies, they get rerun once every 10 years. At least they used to. So that's how bad it was. You had to wait 10 years to see the movie again. So if you saw the movie at the age of 1, you wouldn't even remember it. But at the age of 5, you'd remember it. Then you wouldn't see that movie from the age of 5 because it really was going to come out until you was like 10 years old. You wouldn't see that movie until you were 20 years old or 15 years old. You would know about it, but nobody else would know what you're talking about. Unless they got a videotape or something to play the movie. Or it came at a special film or drive-in theater. That's the only time you can get the movie, not on television. Television was every 10 years, every decade. So go back and do your homework and see what I'm talking about. Now, again, I've seen the movies many times. There was one movie in particular. It wasn't the Sinbad, it wasn't the Pegasus, it wasn't the Stone Dude, it wasn't the Gorgon, it wasn't nobody. It was the Skeletons. The Skeletons had something where they was going to fight Jason and the Argonauts, probably more than Sinbad. And they came off the ground with a shield and a sword. And they actually did the claymation, stop motion, and you could see some movement. I said, that movement looked like it's vibrating, but the vibrating looked like it's moving. Click, 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 click. Oh, I'm going to use that. Let me try to copy those guys. Oh, go. And so next time I get up, somebody going to vibrate, I'm going to wait for him to vibrate, pick his light up, and I'm going to go chop his hand off. Come on. Just leave that light alone. That was my ideal. So I was going to use moving vibration to beat anybody who wanted to stand still and vibrate. Now remember, everybody stood still and vibrate. Everybody had a different thing to do. But nobody moved. Nobody had a motion. So I said, I'm going to learn how to do this motion. And here's the coldest part that people still ain't got yet. The motions with the Sinbad for the leg scenario is, okay, this is a trick. Please forgive me, you guys, because there's some people I tried to show this, and they misunderstood what it's doing. So you see a lot of people doing some very goofy motions with this, and I'm going to show you why they do those motions, and then I'm going to show you why they don't have to do those motions. So please bear with me. Here they go right now. So when I first try to show the people that I copied the Sinbad creatures,
you want to move this chair and come back, because then they're going to see your whole body. Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, so the reason why you see people doing some of these goofy things is, so the creatures who are soldiers, people didn't understand that the 3D, if they understood it, they'd get it. But the 3D is coming at you and coming away from you. So there's got to be a backup portion before there's a forward motion. There's no just, I'm coming forward. And because now you're not 3D. There's a whole idea that you're standing, you're squatting, you're waiting. You see games do this a lot. There's a dude who's breathing and he's standing still and it's a slow motion. Those motions are important to give you up and down ground, but not the turnaround motion. So going left, going up, no, step back twice, march. That's a very simple concept. Now, but not doing that with some kind of shake, stop motion makes it important. So here we go. So here's the reason why they do it wrong first. So when people have asked me to do Sinbad, I've always given them what is called a double character. So that would mean I'm giving them half Gorgon. I was not copying Gorgon when I first did this. But the Gorgon in most of the Sinbad pictures, he has the goat, like the devilish goat hind legs, right? And then he's still got a man with, he sometimes got one eye or horn and a big old club in his hand. So I give them that character when I try to give them Sinbad, because I wasn't trying to give them the character that I first used, but still take the motion. So here's Gorgon, the creature that got goat legs. I don't have goat legs. I can't do what double joint people do, so I just jump on my toes. But the way I jump on my toes is different from the guys who may do it. They might go, and so you see them moving like this because they don't know what they're doing. Mine is, I step back to the heel. And the stepping back gives me what foot I'm using to stop that motion. Now I got two toes up and I'm already bouncing. It was just simple. It's not an awkward position. It's not a look crazy. It's just, I'm looking at you, I go forward, I go back, I go back. Now I'm up on my toes ready to move. And when I start to move, this is, when I'm moving forward, I don't shake my body to move my legs. My legs are actually hopping in place. It gives me an up, down, spring hop. So I'm letting you see that I'm going 1, 2. But even if I go forward, 3, I have to step back again. So even if I took 3 steps up, I'm backing up because that gives you 3D. So people don't know that. So here they go. All right? Because they don't know they don't know theory. Here's the theory. Watch the difference. 1, I'm not trying to add a whole lot of vibration yet. I'm giving you just a foot motion. 1, 2, I back up. There's a bounce going on before it. 3, 4, 5. No, back. What are you doing? Whoa, get on. Whoa. Ha, here I come again. Ah, I got you. No, wait a minute. Wait, which way you going? Hey, what you on that side? Ah, it's the whole idea of you parrying. You're like, oh, I got. Oh, wait a minute. Did you move? Ha. Okay, I'm wait a minute. So that's the whole.
Okay.
That's the whole body part. Now.
You guys have a class here as well in the interview.
So the good part is with your vibrating hand motion, shake, vibrating, whatever. All you got to do with it is move it and stop. That's the claymation effect. Not your feet. You might come to a stop when you come to a halt, but really when you come to a halt, your hands should be moving and you come to a stop because you're doing something else. So now if I go, watch my hands. I don't know if you can see this. See my hands as I'm moving, it makes an idea of slow motion though. I'm not now going, right? Look, as I vibrate, it slows my legs down to be on time with the march. So, back up is normal. What you doing? I see you. Oh, boom, boom. See, I'm going in and out. Now, of course, everybody don't get that yet because I don't know, they didn't take out the time to figure out what was going on. They didn't take out the time of the boxing, the formation, why you going back and forth to get the 3D effect, and why you at the vibration. When you want to comb your hair or grit your teeth or sock something, they didn't come up with the foundation for that. So let me give you the next secret on that. As I was trying to use this to beat people who were vibrating, I'm going to come up to them and I can do
was
something.
vibration ever called electro?
I don't know. I'm sure it does. It sounds like electricity.
Okay.
You get electric shock or something.
Okay.
So I wouldn't know. So if they called it that, that was great. But let me say this one to you. Everybody who thinks of vibrating, other than me. So when I do Sinbadding, you may not notice this when I was doing it, I wasn't still. So everybody who tried to do Sinbadding, they also go. Me, it's still that shaky, shake, stop, shake, ticking.
So, shake, rebound, bounce, and glitch.
Bounce is simply like a ball coming to a stop.
Okay. Okay, yes.
You do by
Okay.
you do. Yeah, that's bouncing is, even if it's not going in that direction, but it means coming to a stop, but figuratively trying to lessen the time that it came to a complete stop.
Yeah.
Like Robot Prince's bounce is really clean. I like it because he doesn't bounce but 2 times. He don't believe in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
He just 1, 2.
Okay.
So if you see a moving robot, he might go boom, pop, and it stops right there.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Is there any difference between rebound and bounce?
Well, show me your rebound.
I don't know. I'm asking.
No, show me your rebound.
I would say rebound would be just this, boom.
Okay, that rebound means that you're not going up and down. Remember how they said the difference between a strobe and 3D? It was only the direction to the eye of the person perceiving you. Rebound, boom, that's good if you do it. Okay, but here's the deal for rebound for me. I'm not really bouncing when I rebound. I'm hitting something and reflecting back off of it.
So you're hitting something and reflecting.
Right.
But bounce is just you
bounce is I'm coming to a steady stop, but over the time. See, I'm not. I may not be reflecting back this way. But what if I reflect it in opposite direction of a bounce? Look.
Okay.
Right? I'm forcing it back.
Okay.
That would be like, boom. Look at that.
So bounce and rebound is you are reflecting.
See how you just did that? Now do a rebound with your other hand. First do it this way, and then do it this way. You'll see the difference between the feels of it. See, you went. And it's almost like you always about to make a pop, because you're trying to make a stop, right? But you don't have to make it a pop. Just make it a quick, I came up with something.
Quick. Okay. Boom.
See how your hand did that? That's different from your body. Now do it with your body.
Boom.
Now I'm gonna show you a trick.
Yeah.
Ready?
Okay.
Do it with your body and your hand. Don't let your body do it, just let your hand do it. But your body's going at the same time.
Boom.
See, look at my hands. Cool. My hands did a quick motion, look.
Boom.
Yes.
Okay.
So it looked like I went here, but my hands did
Okay.
how fast my hand got to here, and it caught it with my body.
Okay.
And it,
Okay.
right?
Shake.
Shake is just
that, yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Shakes for some people is left and right. I don't do this kind of shake.
Okay.
I don't do this.
Okay.
I actually just do this.
Okay.
Just that.
Okay. Just that. Okay.
And it's almost the same as a bounce,
Okay.
because you really want to come 1, 2, 3 times and stop, like
Okay.
a sort of
Okay. It's just more subtle.
Yeah, I don't do this.
Okay.
And if you see me tell people I say shake like this, that's because I want you to understand I'm not tensing up. So the shake is really supposed to go do. Like I went 1, 2, 3, the rebound.
Okay.
Your rebound.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing for shake.
Okay. Glitch.
And a glitch is a real glitch is supposed to be between a rebound and a tick. You got caught in emotion. You was about to do something and you got stuck in between the motion.
Yeah.
No, see, that's a see. Look,
I'm getting schooled.
yeah, so if I go down like this and go that would be a stop motion and a thing. But if I went,
Okay.
so I had a whole lot to get through before I got down.
Okay.
That would be glitching. So if you also see a person, they were supposed to go down straight, and I'm gonna go the slow version, and then I go like this. Something is glitching. Something is stopping me from moving to go.
Okay.
I didn't quit moving, but it's stopping me before I get smooth again.
Okay.
That would be a glitch. So a glitch is something in the mechanical way that does not let it go straight.
Okay.
If I'm moving straight with a slow motion and I do this, one, and you see me go this is all smooth. But all of a sudden you see a lot of people, you see me go, that's a glitch.
Okay.
Something hit me that made me rock
Okay.
before I was going very smooth.
Okay.
A glitch. A glitch is a normal motion,
Okay.
and a normal motion in between motion A and B.
Okay.
And can I do one for them? I want you. So this is also a glitch. This is because
Come back. Oh, wait.
y'all can see it. It's there.
Yes.
All right. So this is. So as I was saying, a glitch would be if I went down, boom. If I went down and stopped, that would be a glitch that came between before. But also, feet can glitch. So if I'm going boom, flash a tooth, and I go, shh, that's a glitch.
Okay.
So if I went boom, that's a glitch.
Okay.
Something electrified me or stopped me. Also, slow motion is a glitch. So if I went, because it stopped me from moving fast. So something drained it, made me slow down. It's a glitch.
Slow motion and fast motion.
Slow motion, of course you guys already know what slow motion is. So I don't know why you say slow motion. So
just the definition. I mean, people probably already know, but just for people that don't know.
Okay.
You know.
Slow motion is supposed to be evident to anyone. It just means very retarded. And I don't mean retarded like you're stupid. I mean very slow down effect. So when slow motion first came out, there was this thing of people being every extreme. Okay, I didn't like that too much, so I said, look, I want to be able to move like if I was walking up and say something to you and I scratch my forehead or something, look, that I should be able to do exactly the same thing. I'm just slowing the timing down. So then my motions became, my actions became what leg or what hand moved in that scenario. And also the timing was very important no matter what I ended up doing. The head, the scratch, put my hand on my shoulder. It was just retarded of what I would do normal. And so it became, how do I stretch that out though? Because when one person moves, sometimes they have a lot of different things. So I started learning how to stretch my motions out. And that means I took longer steps. But when I took longer steps, I had to have a glitch. The glitch made the bounces. So the glitch made the boom, boom, boom. Oh, he's moving, but it's a bounce to it. The glitch made the shoulders move, boom, boom. And I just had to slow down normal motion. I didn't do the whole retarded, slow, slow mo. I didn't do all that. Didn't do the space retarded. But now fast motion, I think that was about 2002. I came up with fast motion as a sort of a debate among the Japanese people who was telling me that there are people who are original and creators. I said, well, if you got somebody who's a creator, what did they create lately? Well, show me something they created. Show me something they started. So they were like, what do you do? And I said, well, I didn't start slow motion. I was trying to tell them I didn't start slow motion, but I had re-innovated it. Like, I didn't do it the way everybody else was doing it. I said, but I can come up with something new. Like, for instance, to me, slow motion is just like a videotape recorder. And so when you see a videotape recorder, it has these couple of buttons on it. There's play, there's stop, there's forward fast, and there's rewind, rewind and forward fast. I said, so if I could go slow motion, I should also be able to slow motion rewind. And I did it with them standing. We got them talking. This person said, but if you go slow motion rewind, what about forward fast? Yeah, I could create that right now. They go, what? We was talking. I said, look, I could talk to you and do that. So first I got to decide what I was going to do normal. Like, I'm talking to you, I move my hand like this. I said, no, dude, don't do that. That was like, man, don't do that no more. Like, hey, what you doing over there? I see you over there. And then I had to speed that up. Don't do that over there. I got you. Hey, tell me. Hey, you playing. So that became quick motion. Now, quick motion is really, just so you know, stop motion and very fast ticking animation together. That's why it's really weird for people to try to do it. Wow. So if I go 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is my hand. When I do quick motion, I gotta go. I can't go up and down. It's just 1, 2, 3 because there's no way for me to get this whole motion in it. 1, 2, 3. But if I go now I use the glitches. That's what I meant as glitches. I meant stop motion glitches and vibration together. So if I shake my head and go, that's me doing a big old shake, like, no, dude, I was going slow, but nah, dude, you tripping, man, you tripping. So I go. So all I'm doing is shaking my head, a glitch, and then point. That's all it is. So if I go. And you have to have pauses. You have to have pauses in the middle of glitches so that it looks like you really sped up from somewhere. It's simple. Don't have to be all super done. Now, can I give you one more secret, people? I know this is crazy, but check it out. So you know when I was telling you about the Sinbad thing and that I'm vibrating as I move and it slows me down? This was my trick from vibration. When I first thought about doing that Sinbad and strobe stuff, I didn't think that I was just doing vibration. I thought I was doing vibration and motion. But a side effect that I figured out was that it helped me do slow motion. So when I think of doing this, I'm just doing the normal thing that I would do. I just have a lot of quirks in it because it's making me slow down. You cannot do a regular tick. Okay, so with your hand, go 1. See how fast that was? You go 2. And go back up. And go 2. Now do that as a tick.
What do you mean?
1, 2, 1, 2 as a tick.
1, 2, 1,
See, it's slow. No matter how fast you do your tick, that's slow. If you made 1 and 2, slow. Right? Remember, there's a building block to go 1, 2, 1, 2. If you do jumping jacks, 1, 2, 1, 2, tick. It slows you down. So now imagine that you're doing a lot of intricate moves, do 1 and 2. It's slow motion. It's automatic slow motion. So when I first did slow motion, I didn't do slow motion the way other people did it. I did this. So my 3D strobe and Sinbading was to me slow motion. You understand what I'm saying? So look, okay, so I'm standing up looking at you and I do this.
Okay.
I didn't just go. I didn't just do walk on, walks out. I just go.
Okay.
And you had to watch my hand.
Okay.
So I wasn't doing, everybody who started doing this. So when they first probably was doing this, they didn't understand what it was. I was saying, dude, I just do 1, up and down. But I'm doing this so I can decide if I pick up something, it's slow motion. This is me just moving.
Okay.
I'm moving in slow motion. I'm not just doing the 3D ticking thing that everybody think I'm doing. I'm thinking, what would I do? Again, normal. Look, here I go. Watch. I'm doing normal motion. It's just slowing down. Now this is still 3D strobe and Sinbading all at the same time. And I'm not trying to be a character, I'm just sitting down. But the effects, the techniques,
Okay.
and the concept is exactly the same.
Okay.
The only thing between this and maybe doing King Kong is I gotta put a creature face on and go,
Okay.
ah, yeah. But the movements are exactly the same.
Okay. Okay.
So vibration to me, when you're moving, is also slow motion. And if you practice in slow motion, you get so much more body control to do anything you want to do. You want to act like you're ironing. You know, it's just slow motion ironing. It's, you know, they can call it what they want to. You can pick it up, go, ooh, that was hot. Take your clothes out, move them over. Ooh. So much more you can do because you're thinking I'm vibrating, but you're thinking it's just slowing down so somebody else can see what I'm doing.
Okay. Well, this interview turned into a whole class.
Sorry about that.
No, this is great.
Sorry.
This is great. Okay. Thank you, Andre. I think we are gonna finish it over here.
Yeah.
Wow, this was Smokey. Come here.
Okay, Smokey.
Come here. Come on. You're an animated
Come on,
too.
where you going?
Oh no, you still have no. I don't want to be friends with you.
I seen him moving crazy. He ain't fooling me. That dude ain't right.
Okay, wow. Well, this interview turned into a whole full-out class. Thank you, Andre, so much for so much knowledge, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it.
I hope you guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Really, I hope if you have any more questions, don't feel too ashamed or shocked to ask her again. Don't feel too ashamed to try to. I'm a hermit, so I don't answer all direct calls all the time. But if you put it out there, I'll try to give you the answer. I'm not tripping. I don't try to hide information. I just don't tell everybody. That's the difference between that.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Well, thank you, Andre.
Thank you. Hey. Oh, animated. No.